Hello and welcome to the first episode of Sideline Stories. I am your host, Chase McTaggart, and with me I have today a longtime friend, fellow fraternity brother, and a salesman right out of the Boston Legacy sales crew. He is the one, the only Tommy Burch.
Appreciate it, Chase. Thanks for having me on. So yeah, I'm Tommy, longtime friend of Chase for the last few years now, roommates for a while too, and now I work for Boston Legacy FC for the sales team. We're starting up our season in 2026 at Gillette Stadium. It's going to be a lot of fun. Really excited about that.
That's great stuff, Tommy. So now, kind of just jumping right into it. I mean, the Boston Legacy, it's an up and coming brand and team in the NWSL. Very cool opportunity. How did that kind of arise for you?
Honestly, it was truly by chance, and I think it was just a good opportunity. Firstly, Sam Barlow, the VP of the sales staff here, he is incredible. Worked for the Washington Commanders for a while. He's the one who did my interviews. I was very lucky to have him, and he truly has been a mentor. And the team that's been around me, I mean, it's been unreal. The quality of the staff members have almost every league of the top leagues in our organization. My manager who sits right next to me worked for the Atlanta Hawks. Like we have
Wow.
guys from everywhere, and it's a women led organization, and there's a lot of women working in the sales staff too. And it's very like eye-opening to see this working firsthand and to be a part of something so special.
Yes, definitely sounds cool to be like a part of a movement almost. You guys are really making some moves up there in Boston. New franchise, definitely bringing in a new crowd. What kind of tactics are you deploying when it comes to your sales pitches and stuff? Trying to get those new clients into some new seats here.
I think it's really less of like a tactic that we use because people are so excited about the organization, top to bottom. Just for a little bit of background here, there was a professional women's soccer team in Boston that played in the same league, the NWSL, in 2018 called the Boston Breakers. They were one of the founding teams of the league. In 2013, when the league was founded, there was 8 teams. One of them was the Breakers. And after they folded, there's been kind of this gap. People have been waiting. Boston and New England is very well known for its soccer community. With the World Cup being played at Gillette Stadium next year, the Men's World Cup, which
It's
is
gonna
really
be huge.
exciting. It's going to be huge. And then if anybody that's watching are soccer fans and they've ever heard of the 99ers, that very famous U.S. women's national team that played in 1999 and won it all, they played in Gillette Stadium in one of the last games of that tournament play and won a very important game that won it all. So soccer is huge here. There's a lot of fans. The Breakers were beloved by the community, and we have an opportunity to bring back that fandom, but also bring new girls soccer fans into it with women's soccer on the rise in the United States and around the world.
That's awesome. That's really cool. And so, kind of transitioning here, both you and I were interns for the Hartford Athletic, quite a
Yep.
great organization. But how would you say working for a prior soccer team has influenced you into kind of transitioning fully into that world?
It's definitely helped me in a couple of ways. Firstly, because I played some college football and I grew up with football, I didn't necessarily think highly enough of soccer. It was always, oh, they're flopping all the time, like it's all this complaining. But then working for the organization up front and like watching these players work and be in it, truly, it opened my eyes. I honestly had to do a little bit of self-reflection and like look internally. Maybe I was being a little too harsh. And then from there, it just kind of, that was where I learned the game. And that's where I really got my start, and I'm very grateful for that as well. And from more of a technical side of things, I was a marketing communications intern there. So I had the opportunity to work on the marketing side and see like how branding was run and how they brought in the media and how we went about like promoting games and working these games. I did a lot of the stats for the games, and it opened my eyes to like the sales aspect of the organization and this revenue building that brought me to this potential of working in sales. And I'm very glad that it worked out the way it did.
Sounds like it's going pretty well for you.
Yeah, it's been
Um,
a lot of fun.
so kind of bridging off of that, you were a communications student and you were very heavily involved in marketing and communications, like you said. What is that transition like from the media and marketing side of things to the sales side of things? I mean, it's kind of a common path for a lot of people. What did it look like for you?
Yeah, and I mean, from an outside perspective, some people may say, marketing communications and maybe journalism doesn't necessarily translate over as well, but I think that's totally incorrect. I think that I got my degree in communications with a focus in journalism and media, and a lot of that had to do with just person to person communication, like talking to people. And the journalism aspect of that is being able to properly like formulate sentences. I know how simple as it sounds, but grammar and punctuation and being able to emphasize words, and something that we use a lot in the sales world is pace, tone, volume. So PTV. So pace, tone, volume, and how you speak and how you interact with people is going to drastically impact how they think of you. Because at the end of the day, like they are much more likely to purchase if they are buying rather than if I am selling them something. And I want
Absolutely.
them to, yeah, and I want them to feel like they're buying this experience because they are. And I truly believe in the organization and what we're doing here. So it's very easy to sell because the stuff that I'm selling, I'm passionate about. I would want this
Right.
stuff too. So it's really cool to be able to like take like marketing and communications is a very good segue to working in sales in almost every aspect from written to verbal and nonverbal communication top to bottom.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with that. Kind of stemming off what you said, just being able to know how to communicate with people is ultimately the first step. Because if you can kind of understand, reading the room and understanding where people are at, you can kind of meet them in the middle and meet their needs. And I think in the business that you're in, that's exactly what you want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's very a very underrated skill, especially because a lot of people their almost stigma of what sales is you're just ripping calls and you're just cold calling people all the time. And that's really not what it is, at least in the sports world more specifically. I get to call people that have put down season ticket deposits that want to come out to these games and are really excited about it. And also, I go out and work events. We just had an event on Saturday, Saturday the 20th of September. I don't know when this is going to be released, but Saturday the 20th, we had an event at Gillette Stadium where a U.S. women's national team player who's on our athlete advisory board, Sam Mewis, who's a Massachusetts native, she came out and did a panel with our head coach, and
Wow, very
and
cool.
yeah, and it's really cool. And she's also like it's really cool to just be around somebody of that talent level.
Right.
But you have to go to these events and work them in person and interact face to face with these clients of yours. So it's not just calling people. Like you see them face to face and you build true relationships with them and you build rapport. And that's what's most important because my job isn't to just sell people the most expensive tickets in the stadium. My job is to give them an experience that makes them want to come back. It's not just sales, it's also service.
I think you hit the nail right on the head there with the sales, not service thing. I mean, you couldn't really wrap it up any better than that. As far as, you've kind of worked in a lot of different positions across the sports world. Where would you say, like, you're in sales now? Is this kind of like your thing? You think you love this? This is what you want to do for the.
I do like the sales, and I think that this is something that I definitely want to pursue in some capacity. My passion in college was in media, very similar to you actually, like working in graphic design, video editing, like being on the field, whether it's photographing or working like as a almost an assistant director of media content for another professional sports team that I worked for. That's what I thought my path was, but working in revenue truly opened my eyes to the operations side. And I think that getting this experience in marketing communications, in media management, and then in sales, it's really kind of just putting all those pieces together on the operations side so that, my goal is to work my way up and move up and grow and potentially earn leadership positions. And the only way to do so is by learning all facets of the organization. So being in sales, it's probably what I knew the least of when I got into it, but I'm very happy that I did. And now potential uh like top goal, chief operating officer, chief revenue officer in the future, like that's yeah. I mean, I dream big. I think Chase knows this too.
You
Um,
always got to. It's a big world. You might as well.
yeah, exactly. And that's where it truly brought me to is like I think all of these skills are combining to bring me to more because I spoke to one of the higher ups in the organization. They told me the more you can learn, the better. And I feel like that really sums it up.
And so, kind of stemming off of that, who would you say in the organization you've learned the most from? Would it be someone within your own sales department, or maybe someone outside of that department?
There there is so many talented and very, very intelligent people in this organization. And I've had sit down talks with some of them and I've been able to learn from some of them. But I think the most direct impact that I've had is from our VP of sales, Sam Barlow. He was like our sales staff came in around the same time. We didn't have a sales team until all of us came in roughly around the same day. And most sales staffs, especially if you're talking about tech sales or you're talking about like selling insurance or payroll, they just get thrown into the fire. You put them on the phones
Absolutely.
and they go. Yeah. And then for us, they wanted to give us time to learn and
Mm,
actually experience the intricate levels of what the sales world is. And that's what I think makes us unique. We spent 2.5, 3 weeks just training, just learning, just growing every day. We had a notebook, like a full notebook that we were given that had like a legacy logo on it. And by the end of training, they were almost completely full from all of us. And I think that truly taught us so many great things. And a lot of it really came from Sam. Sam was the guy who started it all for us. And he has so much wisdom and knowledge. And we do role plays of sales situations and stuff. And the way that he can just think of something off the top of his head that he can just say and just rip it, like while everybody's in the room with him, is just unreal. He's got a way with it.
I think that kind of comes with time and experience, something that you'll probably learn. I mean, you're recently new to the legacy, but still, a solid, like you've been there for quite some time. What, a little under a year now, or
Whoa, not that far. I've only been here for about roughly almost 3 months now. Yeah, because I
wow.
graduated in May and then I started up here in like early July. So
I
almost
guess I
3 months
lost
now.
track of time there. My fault, Tommy.
It's all right. But yeah, it's been like in the 3 months, the growth that I think I've had personally is unbelievable because we started off with just calling deposit holders. And a lot of these deposit holders, they're really excited to get going. They save their spot in line to select their seats. They're ready to go. They're raring. But then, you have to learn and grow. And your first call, like I still remember my first call. I was like shaking. I was so nervous. My first call went great, but I was actually most excited for the first time I was told to like kick rocks. Cause then I just get it out of the way and I
Right.
can keep rolling from there. And, since then, obviously you deal with some bad eggs. You deal with some people that are having bad days. But the best way, and Sam taught me this too, Sam taught us this, is that at the end of the day, you are interrupting people's days. Like you're calling them. And sometimes, sometimes they're having a bad day. So my mindset is if somebody's upset, somebody's mean, they're probably just having a bad day. I'll reach back out to them another time because they put down money for this organization and I want them to get that experience. But the growth from the beginning of my first call until now and how I'm meeting these people in person and I'm building rapport in person and our seat selection date is less than 2 weeks away and
Wow.
people are actually
Time's
getting
flying
their
by.
tickets. Time's flying and it's truly like incredible. And I'm learning so much from my peers and our group. Like we have a great dynamic, we have a great team, and I'm so excited to learn more and keep growing.
I mean, like I said earlier, it sounds like you're in the right place, got a lot of opportunity ahead of you. As far as that first sales call, how did that go? Could you kind of walk me through that experience and how that went for you?
Yeah, so like in sales we have a roadmap. So it's not a script. It's just kind of like guidelines to go off of, like what points you need to hit. Because at the end of the day, like you want these people to understand what your role is. And
Right.
if you're just like, hey, is this somebody's like Mr. something? And they're just going to think that I'm a salesperson calling them. So one thing that we learned is, you refer to them as their first name because it's more personal. This is a good thing. So instead of, hello, Mr. McTaggart, it's hello, Chase. Like, hi, Chase. This is Tommy with the front office of Boston Legacy FC.
Get him on
And
that
then
first name basis.
yeah, exactly. You want to like build rapport with them because you're going to be working with them for the future. You don't want to just be like in this professional stage the whole time when you're trying to give them an experience. And then after that, like we're not just salespeople. Like yes, my technical job position is inside sales rep, but our what we refer to ourselves as, which is true, is we are your personal consultant because it's again it's more than just sales, it's service. So my introduction is like Chase, like, this is Tommy with the front office of Boston Legacy FC. I'm shooting you a call because I saw that you'd placed some season ticket deposits with us. Firstly, we are very, very grateful for your support, and we're really excited for the season. And I just wanted to introduce myself as your personal consultant for the season. So everything regarding the team, all the questions you have about your season tickets, and just throughout the season, I'm going to be your guy. So I'm calling, and then that's when you get into the role. Like, what are you most excited for this season? Learn about what they want out of the experience. Like,
Right.
who's coming with them? Like, what family members they're bringing, and family members truly, like, typically have the most value. So when somebody's excited about something, you want to learn more about it because that's where their values lie, and that's how you build those relationships. So my first call, you know, hello Chase, this is Tommy with the front office of Boston Legacy. Like, I was nervous,
Right.
and luckily my first call was with a client who was so locked in on the tickets anyways, and
An
was
easy
just happy
layup
to
for
be
you
there.
there to
It
start.
really, yeah, I got a lob. Like, it was nice. But once you get the first time jitters out of the way, and after the conversation started going a little more smoothly, I'm learning about them. I'm starting to take it easy a little bit, calm down. I'm not bouncing my leg. Like, we're just having a conversation because that's what it is. Like, I'm learning
Right.
about these people because that's the whole point of it. And then we get into, you know what, like, I appreciate you taking the time out. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about what I do here. Tell him, like, his personal consultant is a pretty vague statement, relatively speaking. I work with people like you. And then you get into, like, the actual benefits, like what they're getting out of it. Like, okay, I want to set up some more time to talk with you. I know calling you in the middle of the day is weird. Set up some more time. So for the most part, it's just an intro call, just for them to get to know you, and then from there you work logistics.
That's great. How how would you say this time with the Boston Legacy FC, where do you think like the trajectory of your career as far as how this has changed your career and being able to kind of learn from these people like um you said the SVP or VP of sales, his name's Sam, and being surrounded with talent from, you said the Atlanta Hawks, correct?
Yeah, Atlanta Hawks. We have one of my managers worked for the Buffalo Sabres. Um, one of the account executives worked for the Red Sox. Like, we have a very, very large variety of staff that hail from all different sports.
And so how would you say that kind of talent coming from all, different pools across, different leagues and all over across the world, frankly, how does that kind of affect, like I said, your trajectory and also being able to network in that space and kind of open even further opportunities? You talked about looking into maybe being the COO of sales. Is that what you said? I'm sorry.
COO, like Chief Operating Officer, just
Right.
like overall. Yeah.
Hey, but that's a great dream, I mean,
hmm
but do you think that these kind of opportunities like this job has opened those kind of doors for you?
Yeah, definitely. I think what a lot of the team has really come together with is that this is truly like the best starting point because we're building something from the ground up. Like, we're not just getting thrown into like a sports team that, and all credit to them, that's already had something established, and they give you like 2 days in, and then you just go, and you got to learn on the fly. We had time. Like, this was starting from the ground up. We built something. So from a resume perspective, yeah, that's great. I love the organization. I'd like to be here for a while. I truly believe that there's something special here with the staff. But from a
Absolutely.
networking, yeah, from a networking perspective, you really can't get better. I mean, there's people from all walks of life that are working here. Our creative director was head of global creative for New Balance. Like,
Wow.
there's yeah, and there's so much talent, and just learning from these people and building relationships. Like, as much as it may not have paid dividends right now in a networking perspective, I could absolutely see how it would in the future. And I think that, I can't remember the exact term, but when I spoke to one of the staff members about, growing, potentially working your way up, those hard referrals, or those hard, like, you have people in your resume that that you want them to contact these people because they have the best opinion of you,
Mm,
but those soft referrals are what matter more, because there's people, especially in the sports world, that have, like, at the higher ups, that have relationships with each other. So they're shooting a call, like our president, Jen, like, hey Jen, just shooting you a call, like, how's it going? Chit chatting. Oh yeah, by the way, this kid Tommy, he applied for one of our positions here. Like, what do you think about him? That's a soft referral.
right.
It's just, and that is where the difference between numbers and like how you conduct yourself in the office, and those like where working hard when the lights are off versus when the lights are on, like those things come to fruition, and that's where I think the networking like comes the best.
So, kind of bridging off of that, you and I both West New England graduates. How would you say your time at West New England has kind of shaped you as a salesperson and just to be ready for the career world as whole?
Yeah,
How did they
roll
do?
Bears. Roll Bears, love Western New England. I think that that the intimate setting of Western New England University definitely had a major impact because
Totally
I
agree.
built relationships with professors, and quite honestly, I didn't always have the best grades in classes. Like that's just the honest truth. It's part of life, and building relationships with the professors is very beneficial in like potentially, like I'm not saying it's going to finesse you a good grade, but they can guide you. And building those relationships with like professionals and getting internships, because Western New England, I truly feel, is one of the best places where you can get internships. Because although it may not be a Harvard or an MIT, because of the smaller class sizes and because you build the rapport with these professors, I ended my college career with 5 internships, I believe.
Wow.
And yeah, and
Outdid
it's
me. I did
well, I
4.
started
I thought I
early.
was
I
good.
started early, so I got a little bit of a head start. But it was that setting and meeting those people and building those smaller relationships and knowing everybody really is what helped. And Western New England truly wants us to succeed, and I believe that to be true. I think that I'm very grateful for what the university has provided to me. And 5 internships helps. It's nice starting from my freshman year, but to be honest, you gotta work for it though. Like my first internship, unpaid, no credits. I was doing it for volunteer hours.
That's how it
It's
is.
it's how it
You
is. You
start
just gotta work
somewhere.
hard.
And
You
even
start
though that
somewhere.
somewhere can be rough sometimes, it's all
Yep.
about it's the steps. You go up and
If
up and up.
like my first internship, I was going into my sophomore year. I rented a U-Haul because I didn't have a car at that point to drive out to Gillette Stadium to cover a lacrosse game that was happening over there. Like sometimes you gotta make sacrifices. It's part of the gig.
And speaking of sacrifices, I mean, you have moved a whole state away to pursue
Yeah.
this opportunity. How has that affected you? I mean, that's quite a move.
I will say, like, it's been crazy. And especially growing up in a very small town in Connecticut. Shout out Essex, Connecticut. Love it out there. Very beautiful. But going from somewhere that small, where my graduating class in high school is a regional high school with 3 towns in it and 110 total graduating seniors in my high school class, then going to a small like private school in Springfield. Springfield's a little bit bigger, but our school was relatively very small. And then now moving to Boston, where after I ended up getting that car, leaving it in Connecticut, and now being and just taking public transport everywhere and just taking the T, because I'm not paying for a parking spot out here. That's ridiculous. Boston's very expensive. But it's been a transition in that regard, and it was fairly abrupt. I got the call for the job on my orientation day for my summer job that I was going to be working.
That's how
I
it
was at
goes
a gym.
sometimes, you
Yeah,
know?
I was going to be a fitness attendant and a lifeguard at a gym that was like opening up, and they hadn't even had their grand opening yet. And I got the call during orientation day, and it was June 18th, and my first day was going to be July 7th. So I had to find a place to live by July 1st. So I had less than 2 weeks, so I
Quick
subleased a place for the
turnaround.
summer. Yeah. So I've actually moved twice, like in Boston. So I moved once to get to Boston, and I moved to a new place after my sublease ran out in August. So it's been kind of crazy, but I truly do love it. I mean, this living in a city is totally different sphere for me, but the group that I have here, like you meet people, like-minded people, and the staff itself, like we're all friends, like on the sales staff, because all of us are sports nerds, and in every capacity. Like I think Chase knows more than anybody. I'm a huge sports nerd.
This
Like
guy,
I spent like 2 years
him and his
every like
Niners.
Yup, my Niners. And for maybe 2 years, every Friday night I was on a podcast that was talking about football. I tell everybody in our house to like just stop talking or not yell or play loud music
I
for
remember, yeah.
an hour.
And now the
Yeah.
roles are reversed. Now I'm the podcast guy.
Look at that. Hey, but your setup's a lot better than mine though, I'll give you that much.
They do well over here at Sacred Heart, I mean,
Yeah,
I
say
can't
your heart.
complain. It's pretty
Look at
nice.
that. Yeah, the audio quality is crisp, but yeah, I mean, it's been a transition for sure, um, top to bottom, but I can't say that I have a complaint about anything. I mean, I'd like to have my car. That'd be nice. And it does make you a lot more, grateful for shorter commutes because my commute to work is 40 minutes on the T every day. So when I go back to Connecticut and I have a half-hour drive, I'm like, oh, that's easy. I'm driving. It's a half hour and it feels like 15 minutes. But, being out here, I'm typically taking like hour plus train commutes or bus rides, depending on where I'm going. So, it's different for sure and changing the professional life as well. But overall, the transition has been great. And I think that I was lucky in that at least.
I mean, it sounds like, you're doing pretty well for yourself. Everything's going good. So, what is there to complain about?
Yeah,
The
exactly. But the hard times are coming. Like we got seat selection, our big select a seat date Sunday, October 5th. It's gonna be busy. There's a lot of people that are coming out to get
phone's
their
going to be off the
seats.
hook.
Oh, don't even get me started. We just started RSVPs for those, and I'm making calls to my clients that have RSVP'd for the event, and everybody's been stoked about it. Like everybody's been excited, so that's great. It's just going to be a busy day, but it's a good problem to have. It's going to be the first time that we as an organization get to shut down Gillette Stadium and make it purely Boston Legacy. So there's going to be
It's
green
incredible.
everywhere. Our logo's going to be everywhere. You forget how big Gillette Stadium is, and then I work an event on Saturday, and I'm like, oh my gosh,
The
we're
real
playing at
deal.
Gillette Stadium. This is Gillette Stadium we're talking about here. And then in 2027, we're going to be moving over to White Stadium and Franklin Park, a brand new stadium that's being built.
It's going to be beautiful
It's
from what I've seen.
truly, yeah, and it's going to be the second women's soccer specific stadium in the world. So there's honestly, like, I would rather be in no other place than I am now. I'm very very content. I'm very excited about what the future of this organization holds, and that really the sky's the limit.
And kind of stemming off that, I mean, where do you see the next couple months heading into this big opening season for the Legacy FC? Like, what does it entail? Is it going to be stressful? I assume so. From your perspective, what is it going to look like?
So as of right now, biggest goal is seat selection. Like that's our big day where, all these deposit holders, because we've had people that have bought deposits since 2024 when we first announced the team. And then obviously like we're a year ahead now. So there's been deposits for this for 12 months almost up to seat selection. So there's a lot of people that have deposits down that are getting tickets. And then after that, we have definitely put a very, very big emphasis on being in the community and being in the soccer community, more specifically like the youth soccer community. So does that mean tabling at events and going out to events and supporting the community, helping out? And then that's kind of the lead up. Obviously there's more logistics involved of like creating other packages, like kind of above my pay grade, but like formulating what that day one is going to look like at Gillette Stadium, that opening day. Schedule release is going to come out, or we haven't released it. There's no schedule released yet. But we're starting in the middle of March. But getting ready for home opener is just preparing, like getting a layout of Gillette Stadium, knowing what our roles are going to be on game day, like being with our clients. There's really a lot that goes into it, and a lot of it that, quite frankly, I don't know about yet. Um,
It's
there's
a
a lot
process.
for
It's
me
a
to
learning
learn.
process.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot for me to learn here, but it's going to be a grind. But it's the good kind of grind, and it's going to be very rewarding because every time that I think about it, I just think of being at Gillette Stadium and like seeing however many people in the crowd, and just like lights shut off, green on the scoreboard, green on all the lights around the stadium, and our team running out, like song playing, cheers, like being a
Chills.
part of that. Seriously, like I genuinely get chills down my spine thinking about that. And if you told me 4 years ago that I think like that about soccer, I'd tell you to like kick rocks. Like
You say that's the wrong football.
exactly. But now like I get jitters thinking about it. Like this is the organization that I'm a part of. And I'm amped. I couldn't be more excited about it. It's gonna be so so cool.
And I think ultimately, like one of the coolest pieces of working for the legacy is the fact that, like you said earlier, you're in on the foundational level. Like you are a part of this journey, creating something that's bigger than yourself. It's bigger than, even the organization. It's for the city, it's for the culture, it's for women's soccer. Like that is truly incredible. And the fact that you get to be a part of creating those experiences, I mean, it's pretty cool. Kind of wrapping things up, where would you say, everything like this experience as far as working for the legacy and also overall in the sports world, what kind of advice do you have for people coming out of school, for undergraduates who are looking to get into roles such as yours or other roles in the sports world? It's very competitive. What are your thoughts?
I think that, now that I've had the opportunity to intern in or work for multiple sports organizations, the first is to not limit yourself. Like extend your boundaries, extend like work outside your comfort zone as cliched as it is, especially in college. Because in college, you work outside of your comfort zone, you may find something that you like more than you're pursuing. You may find a love for media. You may find a love for marketing. You may find a love for sales and revenue. Like whatever that may be, just learn, grow. And then coming out of college, like don't limit yourself in the same way. You see a job that maybe, I don't know about that. That's how I felt about this. And that's how I ended up here. I didn't think I'd be working in sales. This is the only shot that I gave for sales. There was opening. This is the only one I took a shot on, and it has truly been the best decision that I've made in my professional career. And I mean, not much of a professional career yet, but it's been quite a ride for me so far. So
You're getting
don't limit
started.
yourself. Yeah, getting started. You got to start somewhere, and
Exactly.
just don't limit yourself. Like be confident, prepare yourself in your interviews, know what you're getting yourself into, present yourself properly, show confidence. I think something that I put an emphasis on in my interviews is I do not have formal sales experience, but I am confident that the other skills I bring to the table will make me successful for this organization. And just being yourself, as corny as it sounds, like personality and not fibbing. Something that was talked about a lot in the interview process is that you can tell when somebody's playing the game with you off the bat.
Right.
So just being
Authenticity, it's, night and day.
exactly. And that's what they said. When you're on the phone with somebody, especially when they hear your voice, they know when you're being authentic. When your eyes are closed and you're listening to somebody speak, you know when they're actually smiling and laughing and when it's not fabricated. So being authentic and being yourself and continuing the hard grind and just like there's a balance in that. And I think that's what's most valuable is one, like you're being authentic to yourself, two, not limiting yourself, and three, like as it's very simple, but just work hard because at the end of the day, as much as working in sales is like, yeah, you can build rapport, whatnot. You sound good on the phone, so that could be great, but there's numbers attached to it now. So, like, those numbers mean something. So you can't let up. Be a master of your craft because as much as I've talked about learning about other parts of organizations, you're hired for this role. So master that role and be the best at that role. And then take time to learn parts of other pieces of the organization. So that's what I would give as my advice.
I think that's great advice. Be a sponge, be authentic, learn, grow, basically. But yeah, great stuff. Tommy, we appreciate your time. I did want to say if you have anything you want to say to finish things off, you maybe want to plug some FC tickets or something, you want to give it a little shout out, feel free. But like I said, I appreciate you coming on to the Sideline Stories podcast. This has been episode 1. We appreciate you.
Yeah, I mean, as I said before, Boston Legacy FC starting up our season in March. Like, get in on it now before you won't be able to get in on it because, like, there truly is a lot of buzz around this. I get to see cars driving by with Boston Legacy stickers on them. I see people walking by with shirts on that have no. It's something really cool. Like, don't let up on it. And Chase, I appreciate you having me on. It was a great time. Good to see you. And yeah,
Well, like I said, thank you for your time, Tommy. It's been a pleasure. Looking forward to the next one. And until then, take care, man.